What's up guys, Peach Booty here again, and this video is going to be an entire news roundup of everything you need to know about Stellar Blade so far. Now I decided to wait a little bit, let the devs kind of finish their interview runs, and instead of just making a bunch of separate videos on each different news piece, I decided to do one single video talking about everything official that we've learned from Stellar Blade since the big trailer reveal at the last State of Play. So my background footage, if you guys want to know, is my Stellar Blade all butt shot so far video that I've made of every single butt shot that we've seen in every official trailer so far. So if you guys don't really care about the news of this game, or if you already know most of the news and you don't want article text to be blocking any part of Eve's ass, then you can go and actually watch that butt shot video on my channel. But for this video, when it comes to covering the news, we are going to be going over articles from Push Square, Games Radar, and Games Rant. And the topics we're going to be covering is obviously the special attention to Eve's backside, as well as the model that they used for Eve's body, the comparison to one of the other devs' games, Nike, Goddess of Victory, as well as just Eve as a character overall outside of her huge ass, and the inspirations from Nier and other video games and movies. And then finally, the 18+ rating that was given in Korea for this game. I'm not going to be talking about any of the Twitter drama. I really don't care what douchebag69 has to say on Twitter. That's just not something I really care about. If you guys want to hear more about that, you can go to these more political clickbaity channels that talk about dumb shit like that. So I'm going to be giving you the official news, and you can enjoy the beautiful sight of Eve's backside in the background. So pretty much all these interviews were with the game director, Hyung Tae Kim, and the biggest thing we'll talk about right away is how he said, when it comes to the design of Eve, we put special attention on the back of the character, or really backside of the character, because the player is always facing the back of the character when they're playing. That's what they want to see most of, so we thought this was pretty important, and he is damn right, pretty important indeed. And I'd also like to add to that, this is the biggest, quite literally, the biggest reason why me and plenty of other people like to create female characters with huge backsides in these either action-focused games or RPGs where we're going to be staring third person at the character in front of us for, 50 to 100 hours of gameplay. So now, in this case, the game devs are giving us that character, just giving us a female character with a huge butt, with plenty of different customization and outfits that we can choose to put on Eve for our viewing pleasure. Kim also reflects on the broader cultural situation surrounding characters like Eve, both within Korea and globally, and his own desires when it comes to the games he plays and makes. He goes on to say, I personally think that compared to movies, animations, manga, and so on, people are especially strict towards games. I do agree with that. In games, there's all the views that people have, which are not always positive about unrealistically beautiful characters. Now, this has been a thing for a while, and a lot of other channels kind of talk about this stuff, like I had said before about this kind of whole Twitter drama thing, but that part's definitely true, where a lot of people, especially ones that don't even really play video games, like to complain about this kind of stuff with body types, especially female body types in video games, how it's like unrealistic standards of beauty because you have characters like Eve here with a gigantic ass, or just women that are fit and attractive in general. There's always going to be some sort of censorship going on, or people, again, that don't play video games that want censorship to happen, and luckily that doesn't seem to be the case for the most part with Stellar Blade so far. And he goes on to say, honestly, when I play a game, I would like to see someone who is better looking than myself. That's what I want. I don't want to see something normal, I want to see something more ideal. I think that's very important in a form of entertainment. This is, after all, entertainment targeted for adults. Yes, adults. Actual adults. Not these pussies complaining about this kind of stuff. And speaking of adults, let's talk about the model that they used for Eve's body. So Kim goes on to say, yes, we did base the character of Eve on the model Shin Jae-eun, he confirmed. We thought that her body shape would be a good reference for the character that we were pursuing. But the face was created originally in-house. It's just the body of the model that we scanned for the game. See, Eve's model is based off of an actual, real-life, living human being. So when asked why the team settled on Jae-eun as the game's model, Kim elaborated, of course it depends on how you define beautiful bodies, but for us we wanted to come up with the most attractive looking body for the user, so this is why we made the decision to work with her. Not gonna lie, I was smirking and I almost laughed while reading that, because the define beautiful bodies thing is just kind of ridiculous nowadays. But, and that's a big but, I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page with Kim here about what we define as beautiful bodies. And then they go on to talk about the smartphone sensation Nikke, Goddess of Victory, which is one of the biggest mobile games in Asia. And I've showed some gameplay of it before. I can bring that back up on screen here. Now, me personally, I'm not really one for mobile gacha games, but if they can do what they did with that game in a AAA mainstream game like Stellar Blade, I am all for it, and I'm sure you guys watching this video are too. So we'll stop talking about the ass for a minute or so, and let's talk about Eve's character in general and what Kim has to say about Eve as a person. So what Kim considers to be an ideal design, he points to someone that can show their own charms and attractiveness without damaging the narrative or the setting of the game. When pressed on who Eve is as a person, the director discussed her personality and backstory, and her journey toward humanity does remind me of Nier Automata's 2B, who, let's not forget, had a destroy pants button in a game with an achievement tied to it looking up her skirt. Okay, so we're still back to the ass, but as it happens, Kim says he's honored to see the game compared to Nier since he's a big fan of Yoko Taro. The character Eve at the beginning is not that great of an existence, Kim explains. But, and again, that's a big but, as the game progresses, she takes on more and more burdens and comes to make important decisions. She gets to interact with more characters and other people, and becomes more human. In the beginning, she's more soldier-like, and doesn't have that many emotions or show much expression. As the game and story progresses, you get to see the change in her emotions. So, just letting you guys know, yes, I love ass. My channel is about gaming booty, but I am still interested in Eve's character. I am interested in this game. If you guys want to watch my reaction to the last trailer, that is also on my channel. But let's talk about the inspiration of other games like Nier that Stellar Blade had. So Kim says that it's a great honor for the game to be called Korean Nier, which is a common sentiment in viewer discussions of the game, because like I had mentioned before, he's a big fan of Yoko Taro, who's the Nier man himself. And in this interview with Games Radar, Hyung Tae Kim, obviously via translator, sheds more light on Stellar Blade's influences and inspirations, specifically the Nier series. And he also goes on in this interview about other Korean games and movies, but when it comes to the Nier comparison, he said he enjoys it even if it isn't a perfect match for Stellar Blade's gameplay. He says, Nier was very important for inspiration when it came to developing our games. It's a wonderful title that we've been inspired by, and the director, Yoko Taro. He's a big fan of his script and a big fan of Yoko Taro in general. So yeah, big Nier inspiration, obviously. So he goes on to say, we pay homage to the games that we played, but when you actually get to play, you will see a few differences there. But to be called Korean Nier and to be influenced by such a title, it is a great honor. So this article goes on to say that this isn't the first time that the Shift Up boss has mentioned other games that he's inspired by. I guess earlier that week he revealed that games such as Sekiro and Bayonetta, which I've mentioned as well, also shapes the studio's latest game, as well as post-apocalyptic manga series Battle Angel Alita, which was also a movie, and 80s sci-fi flick Blade Runner. When asked about Bayonetta and Sekiro's contributions, he again stressed that, "I don't think they are necessarily very similar to each other, but rather, we took the strong parts of those two games and kind of put them together and implemented that in Stellar Blade." So I had mentioned other inspirations that I kind of noticed or comparisons that I thought, like even the whole Zion thing, like you think of the Bible obviously, but you think of Matrix too, at least that's what I think of. And even the characters, Adam, Eve, Lily, or Lilith when it comes to the Bible. So there's a lot of inspirations here in general, just plenty of inspirations with movies, games, obviously the Bible, and just Christian lore in general, which inspires a lot of Korean media. And when it comes to Korean inspirations, Kim does say that because we are a Korean developer, we can't deny the fact that we were influenced by that Korean style of something like a Black Desert Online. But at the same time, we try to always find our own style somewhere between realism and a more deformed style of characters. And in the process, we always try to find our own unique charm. And I did mention in my reaction to the last trailer that I really did love the character designs, not just Eve's fat ass, obviously, but just some of the goofier, like they said, more deformed kind of character designs. I found that very intriguing and very fitting with this world that they're trying to present to us. He then says that the team taps into media like K-pop, Korean movies, and K-dramas in its search for our own attractive character design, adding to Stellar Blade's somewhat Korean-like charm. But more than anything, Kim says that he's always applied his own unique aesthetic, which has progressed and evolved for sure, and that has been implemented in Stellar Blade for sure. Really loving his authenticity here. Authenticity in general is something that I really pride myself on, so it's really good to see another dude that loves asses and is just authentic about him and is not censoring himself or his games at all. So the most recent news that we've gotten from the time of editing this video is Game Rant's article about Stellar Blade receiving an 18-year-old plus rating in Korea. So it's not just the suggestive costumes and obviously the ass of Eve and Stellar Blade, but according to Korea's Game Management Committee, the title also features excessive violence, including red blood and mutilation. The rating decision, parsed using machine translation, also seems to suggest that some of Eve's costumes are so scanty that they equate to nudity. So I don't really know what to say about this. I don't think there's enough information until we see the rating in English or in America. And I don't really, I mean, they could be talking about like the bunny costume that was shown in the butt shots here. Maybe there actually is some nudity that we don't know about, but again, as long as there's really no censorship, like I'm fine with the outfits that we are getting. The fact that they equate it to nudity is pretty irrelevant to me, like 18 plus, like I've been over 18 for over 10 years now, so that doesn't really bother me, and I don't think it really bothers most people. But that's pretty much all the news that we have so far on Stellar Blade. So if you guys are excited for Stellar Blade and just more ass in video games in general, then you can like this video, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff if you want to see more Stellar Blade and more ass in video games. See you in the next video.